we've got today is a Webley Scott Mk1 .22 air pistol. It's got a date on it, 1925. I've took a couple of pictures of this as I got it. I've basically just given it a spray of WD to be freeing up some of the threads and stuff. So I took a couple of pictures which I'll show you now. So that's what it looked like when I got it. It cocks, it sort of fires, everything's a bit stiff on it. The grips really want refinishing. But overall, I think we can get up and running. There's a couple of issues with it. Obviously we've got to sort the piston out and free it all up and what have you. But one of the main issues, which I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with it is yet, is a bit of play up and down on the barrel there where this catch holds the barrel, and if you look at it you can see that that's got a bit of wear on it. So it's obviously had a lot of use, and hopefully we can sort it out. So I'm not quite 100% what I'm going to do about that yet. Perhaps a bit of packing on the bottom side of where the barrel goes in. I don't know yet. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So they're pretty simple to take apart. You just basically take the screw out in the front here. This front bit unscrews, and there's a big screw on the end there, which on later guns had actually writing on it saying "do not remove." Looking at that, someone has had a go at removing it, so assuming it doesn't leak or anything from the end there, I'm going to leave that in place. And the grip screw on this side is pretty badly corroded, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get these screws out. I'll give it a whirl and see what happens. If it's going to damage it or snap the screw, I'll probably just finish the wood actually on the pistol. Now the story behind it is, that's a friend of mine, his father gave it to him under the implicit instructions he's not to get rid of it. So what I thought would be nice is if we done it up, got it up and running, got it looking a bit nicer, so he can take it back to his dad and he can possibly have a shoot on it again and bring back some good memories. So that's the story behind it. I wish that was mine, but it's not, so I'm just going to fix it up for my friend and hopefully get it up and running. So you consider this is nearly 100 years old, that's pretty amazing really. So we'll make a start. So I'm just going to undo the screw on the end here first. Now, everything on this gun is it's quite loose, that screw, so that's a bonus. Okay, I'll just get my little magnetic tray, keep all the screws in, and there's one on the other side. Oh, that's nice and free as well. Well, I hope them grip screws are as free as that, but I doubt it. So anyway, here's hoping. Now this one is actually a pin that goes all the way through, so I'll just remember that goes in from this side. And this bit should come out. We'll release the barrel and we should be able to unhook that from the piston. So that's the barrel out. Another issue with the gun was when I went to put a pellet in it, it seemed a bit tight, so I don't know if that's just dirt on the inside of the barrel or what, so I'll give that a good clean as well, and we'll get some of this surface rust off so we can see all the numbers and lettering and what have you. Now apparently these were made, I think, up to about 1935, and then there was various differences. I think that lost the trigger adjustment screw. This is although that looks slightly slanted, that handle, that is actually called a straight handle model, and the later ones had a slanted back handle. So that's a bit of the history on it. They still make a modern equivalent, they're a lot bigger now. The smaller ones are called Webley Juniors, then the Webley Senior, and so on. So I'm not an expert, but it's got an interesting safety catch there. You sort of twist it, push it down and twist it, locks the trigger, push down and twist, and the trigger's free. So that's quite interesting. So I'll have a go at the screw first, which is got less rust in. Scrape that slot out a bit without damaging the wood. Oh, yeah, success. Well, I hope the other one comes out as easy, because a bit shame if we couldn't get it out and clean it up properly. So, so we'll give these all a clean up. So that's one of the grips off. Still in one piece, slight crack in there. Still got the emblem, the little air pellet emblem in there. So that's the grip off that side. This one is going to be tricky, so bear with me. Just give that a little screw it. Okay, see if we can get this in there. Snap my screwdriver in there. That's my cheap Chinese screwdriver, that's in the bin. So what else we got? Okay, so I just scraped that slot out a bit more and I managed to get the screwdriver in. It's probably not quite wide enough, but I did manage to crack it, so I'm right chuffed about that. I haven't screwed the slot up too much, so that's the main thing I was worried about, getting these screws out, because they look pretty bad. So I'll just be giving them a soak. Okay, grips off. First major obstacle overcome, so right chuffed about that. Now, next part, there's quite a bit of debris on this table here now, is to get something big in there. I'm just going to use a screwdriver longways and get that in there, because if you can see, you've got to miss that edge piece. Luckily, it's quite loose, so carry on getting that out. Let's see if I can get that in there now. Yep. Now, obviously, there's going to be a bit of tension on this when it comes out, so be prepared for that. Caught my glove in the thread there. And hopefully, the piston and spring will be serviceable. Okay, so far so good. Well, yeah, that spring looks quite nice actually. It's a spring retainer. We'll clean them all up, and then from in here, slot in the top, and that's actually an oil hole. It's the official advice is 2 or 3 drops of Webley gun oil every now and again. So I'm just going to leave that out. So that's the piston, and yeah, the washer's all short up there. So we'll probably have to maybe get a new washer for it, I don't know. I think you can still buy them. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But that's the piston. It's quite alright actually. Now, just going to see if I can see in there. Yeah, still looks fairly shiny. That's good news. Okay, the other issue with this gun is where the barrel seats in there. Either the seal is missing. Yeah, I think the seal is actually not there at all, so we may have to purchase a new one or come up with something to overcome that problem. So what I'm going to do now is undo the screw on the back there, and then that's for adjusting the sight. Okay. Yeah, that's the back sight bit. I say we'll give that all a nice clean. And this bit, there's a pin holding that in, so I'll probably just lubricate that and not take it out, but I can see now there's clearly no breech seal, so Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to strip all the trigger down and everything, because that seems alright actually. I'll obviously give it a lubrication, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the whole thing in an ultrasonic cleaner, all the parts, give it a clean up, give it an oil up straight away after to stop any rusting, and then we'll give it a further clean up and take it from there. Okay, so here's all the parts just come out of the ultrasonic cleaner, all the grime and rubbish is off, this will come up nice. So what I'm going to do now is get some fine steel wool, bit WD-40, and just give that a rub over and get all the surface rust off, and then we'll just give it wipe with a bit of oil just to preserve it, and that'll be it with that. Another problem I noticed with this barrel, when putting a pallet in the loading end, that seemed a bit tight, and when I looked in the barrel, there's just a sort of chipped up a bit. Now my buddy told me when he was a kid he can remember putting stones in it and stuff and firing them, so that probably didn't help, and his dad probably didn't know either. So what I'll probably do is just get a Dremel tool or something in there, or a little round file, just to make sure the pallet fit in there snug. Another problem, I've got this vice here, this is the piston. There's a screw on the end, but it hasn't actually got a screw here. There's just like a bit of a slot each side, and I've got some grips on it, tried to get it off, and it's proving a bit stiff. So I'm hoping, I looked in the end there, I can see the screw head poking up, so I filled it up with WD. I've just got to leave that sitting in the vice like that to soak, and I'll let you know how I get on with that later. Now, I've done a bit of research. You can still buy the piston seals. I think they're about 12 quid, and the breech seal, but there's two different types, and I just got to look into that a bit further. I might be able to make something up myself for that. But anyway, so some of the parts are still available. Some of these other parts are quite expensive to buy. So I think this is quite a rare gun, so it's a pleasure to have it, and to be able to do this for my mate. Hopefully we can get it shooting so his dad can have a go on it. So what I've done with the grips, I'll just lay them there so you can see them. Right, what I've done basically is give them a wipe over with a bit of white wool. That little emblem in there is brass, that's even shined up a little bit. So I've basically got the rubbish off, give it a wipe with meths, and I'm not going to do much more than what I've done on them. They're quite fragile, it's very old wood. So I'm just going to lubricate it up with some board linseed oil, just straight clear oil. Give it a soak so that can soak into the wood both sides, and then I'll give it a buff up and a polish, and they should look a lot more respectable than they did anyway. So that's the pistol grips more or less done. I've just got all of them up now, and the next problem is getting that screw out of the end of the seal. If I can't, I don't know what we're going to do there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to clean this all up and get some elbow grease in action, and I'll be back soon. Okay guys, I'll just give these grips the first little rub of oil, so I'm going to do it both sides, let all the oil soak in the wood. You've probably never been oiled before in our lives, so it's nearly 100 years old, it's amazing. Get some oil in the screws, and I'll just leave these soaking, and I'll probably give them another couple of coats. Triangle screws and that soaking in there in WD, and so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dip my steel wool in there rather than keep using the can, and so I just give it all a liberal coat first, and then I'll start rubbing it down. So I'm not looking to get it look like new. It's an old gun, like I say, that'd be pointless I think trying to do that. So it's got a nice patina on it, so we'll maintain most of that, and get it up and running. So I'm just going to do this for a while, and same with the barrel and any of the other bits that need it, and be back soon. Right, okay, just to let you know what happened with this bit. When I first took this off, that's the piston and the piston washer, there was no slot on the end of the screw, and I figured out after, perhaps because that was slamming into the end stop, that may have sort of flattened it. So anyway, I got a Dremel, got a nice slot in there, could not budge it. The hardest bit was actually stopping this turning around. I didn't want to grip it there, so I put it in a vice sort of that way, a vice with nylon jaws. So I was a bit worried about how tight I had to get it. Tried soaking it overnight, tried heating it up, which is why this has gone blue. And in the end I used an impact driver, and that eventually came out. The threads were a little bit screwed, but that has tightened up in there. And what I've done, I've made my own washer there. The original was a two-piece affair with a bit on the outside sort of cupped over and a smaller bit on the inside. Now what I've done, I put this in a Jubilee clip, tightened it up to the diameter more or less of the piston, and left it for a while. So it's been soaking in oil a good while. I expect that's going to be difficult to get in. And then a little tip I heard apparently is if you leave it 24 hours in your gun before you fire it, that gives it time to sort of take shape and get used to what that's doing. So that's the story behind that. So let's get this excess oil off of the barrel. Okay, so we'll now attempt to get this in, and we'll see what happens. Let's get a little flat screwdriver and just I'll ease that in. That's just getting that lip down. Once that's down, that acts like a sort of, when the air pushes it, it opens up, stops the air escaping. So just going to gingerly get this in. Getting it past the thread is probably the hardest bit. Slowly getting there. That little bit on the top there where the lever come out, you just got to get past that. And if this washer don't work, we'll end up buying a new one probably, or a replacement part. But if you consider eventually you're not going to be able to get the parts for this, having a go at making it is a good I thought it was a good experiment. So we'll see what happens. If it don't fire very well, we'll change it. But it's certainly going to be used occasionally. And if that screw in the end of the piston, what holds the seal on, if that does work loose, we'll have to tap it out and put a new screw in it, I'll tell you. Just get it into the... Okay. That's in there, seems to move freely. Okay, I'm not going to push that all the way in just yet, because what I want to do is, as I put this together, I'm going to be using Mobile, I can't pronounce it, I'm going to be using Mobi grease, they call it for short. There's a proper name, I can't pronounce it in a minute. So I'm just going to use this little brush here, and what I like to do is, I'm just going to put a little washer actually inside the cylinder, just so the spring can twist and turn freely. And I'm going to do the same on the other end on the cap, and again, if the spring has compressed slightly over the ears, that will sort of bring it out a bit. So I've got that in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, and this grease is basically any metal to metal contact parts. So now I've got the washer in, I'm just going to push that right down, and then on the back end of the piston I'm going to get some grease in there. I've got big fat fingers, right, I'll just get that. You only need a tiny amount of this grease, so I'll just put a tiny bit, rub it in at that slot, so when the cock and arm goes up it's got a bit of lubrication. So I'll just wipe the excess off. Right, so we've got the piston in with the washer in the bottom, and I'm going to grease the spring up. And the best way is just put some on your glove and just give it a good rub over both ends as well, and you don't want it dripping off, if not it'll just splatter everywhere when you fire the gun. So that's done, so I'm just going to feed that in there. And this is the spring guide retainer, and we'll give that a bit of a grease, some on the end there as well for the washer to fit on. Stick the washer on, it's a pretty good fit on there. Tiny bit on the top end. Okay. Right, so if we can get this back in. Not struggling too much. Yeah, no, not forgetting anything. Right, okay, so not too bad. So let's get my spanner in there. Now you can't actually tighten it right up because that hole on the top of the carbon lever has to line up, so we got that done. Okay, now I sorted out the roughness in the end of the barrel there where the pellet was tight. I basically had this little rubber attachment on the Dremel. I'll just show you if you like. It's just like a hardened rubber with little slits in it, and that was enough to just get whatever it was restricting it. I've given the barrel a polish on the inside, gave that a good clean, and so I'll just put some of the Moby grease on there, and I'm going to grease these links up with a little brush when it's all back together. So I'm just doing the bits that I've got to basically in a minute. All over it. I'll just give that a good clean up after. Right, the barrel returning screw does only actually go in one way. There's another little screw that actually screws in the other end of it. So from what I can remember, I believe that was this way. So yeah. Pretty tricky this one, should I say. It's actually going inside the thread on the other side of that pin. So I'll just get a slightly bigger screwdriver and tighten them up. Now on this end, inside where the breech seal is, I stuck two little O-rings together. And they seem to just fit quite nice, so I'm going to give that a try. Again, if that doesn't work, we might have to buy something. And that barrel that still wiggles a little bit, so I might have to put something on in the bottom, just inside there. I might have to just put something inside there. Don't know what yet. I'll just try it without anyway and see what happens. Right, so that's pretty much most of it back together, to be honest. All I've got to do is put the grips on. I'm just going to finish up now, greasing it up in the various parts, and I can give it a good wipe over before I put the grips and the rest of the bits on. So I'll be doing that, and when I've finished I'll come back and we'll finish it all off. Right, I'll give it a good wipe over, got the grease off. I did put some drops of oil in the oil hole there, so that can be working its way around. So we're now going to put the grips back on, and this one, there's some It's a little bit missing out of the wood there, and I believe that was the really badly stuck screw that went in there, so we'll put it back where it came from. Now I'm not going to over tighten these because there's some damage to the wood and I don't want it cracking the grip. Yeah, probably have to do that a bit tighter than that. I might even have to put a washer under the screw head. That's okay, it's quite tight. There for the other one. And that one has actually got a pin in there to stop it slipping, the other side didn't have that, so I don't know if that was rusted away or whatever. No, I haven't got a really wide screwdriver thin enough to get in these screws. Just the screwdriver's a little bit small what I'm using, that's all I got, I'm afraid. So that's in there. Okay, basically, that's basically the finished article. Obviously we've got to test it and see if it's shoe alright, and we may have to come back to it and do some fine adjustments. I say I'm not sure about this breech seal, so oh no, we ain't finished. We've got to put the sight on. Again, I'll have to adjust this up at some point. Right on, get that screw in the back there. It only goes on one way. There's a slot to the right of it, which you can see was there. So I don't really know where to set this, to be honest, so I'll just move up a fraction, tighten it up, and we'll give it a test. That's where it line up. Looking at it, I guess you could adjust it side to side as well slightly, so I suppose that's the idea of that. Come back there, so just have a look through the sides. Not the best sight in the world, but it works, so right, okay, let's tiny bit of movement there, but I don't know, I think that might be alright, so the plan was not to get it like new, but just to get it cleaned up. Respectable work, and oh, I don't know, I think that looked quite nice. If you compare it to the picture I had when we got it, yeah, it's quite nice. So I know you're supposed to wait a day, but I can't. Let's see if I cock first. Yeah, it's quite stiff, to be honest. Quite a tight spring in it. Maybe them washers tightened up a bit too much, so we'll see. Right, paddock drops in nice now. I've got a bin here with a load of cans in it, so oh, I don't know if you heard that, guys, that fired. It's quite loud, so I might take it outside in a minute and just have a couple of shots on it. Safety works, and that's the finished product. So I'm now going to go give it a test, and I'll let you know. Okay, guys, took it for a shoot, and seems to shoot okay. It was a bit hard to cock. I don't know if that's them washers I put in has put a bit more tension on the spring, maybe, but that did seem to get easier as it went along. So I gave it a bit more oil in the barrel. I've took the barrel off again, just to show you what I'm going to do with that. Now this grip, which I said didn't have the pin, well it did, but on the bottom you can see on that side a bit of wood had chipped away, so I just took that off, put a bit of glue under it, and that's actually not set yet. put a bit of glue under it just to make sure that grip doesn't twist and come loose. That was bothering me a bit, so sorted out. It's just a bit of Yoo-hoo glue, so that's still drying and sorting itself out. With the barrel, so I was quite happy. That shot alright. My O-ring seals and what I put in there seem to be doing the job, but there's just that tiny bit of play and that's sort of bugging me a bit, and that's because of the wear on the top here where that catch slides in it. So I'm going to try the old nail varnish trick. If you haven't seen this before, I mean, it started off when with action figures, when they got loose joints, you paint nail varnish on them. And if you saw one of my air pistol video I done that had some loose joints and stuff, and I gave them several layers of nail varnish and I did tighten them up. Obviously that will wear off after a while and you might have to redo it, but I just want to see if I can tighten that up. So I'm going to let that dry. It dries pretty quick, and I'll keep on building up some layers on it. If that's too much I can just sort of sand it down, and I'll let you know how I get on with that. See if I tighten the barrel up a little bit. So it's only a fraction. I was thinking of putting glue or something on there, but that's been a bit messy, so I'll do that, see what happens, and I'll let you know. Okay, I've done the nail varnish trick, and I started off putting it on the top because that's where the wear is, but then I figured that if I actually put it on the bottom, that'll lift it up a fraction. As long as the barrel is in the same place, it doesn't matter if it is just a tiny fraction out. You'd have to adjust your sights, but just to make sure that stayed in the same place all the time. So now it's a very, very tiny bit there, so I'm going to put another bit of varnish on it, let it dry overnight, and I think that'll be it. So yeah, it feels good. Yeah, so yeah, but guys, all done, and see you in the next video.